Hello everyone, what's up and welcome back actually to another reading vlog. If you're new here, hi, my name is Natasha. I usually do reading vlogs on this channel. I hate sit down videos, you know, it's a whole thing. If you've clicked on this video, I will be doing like a quarterly shelf destruct reading vlog where I read 3 books over the course of 3 months and then just upload it. If you want to go check the books that I plan to read for the shelf destruct TBR kind of thing, I will link it up here, not there, yeah. Okay. So essentially, if you don't know what shelf destruct is, it's basically me just reading books off of my physical TBR and seeing if I want to keep the books and if I want to unhaul them. And the idea is to either create space or to keep the books that you are really enjoying on your shelves. The first book I'm going to pick up for the month of May is Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. A princess of Crete and daughters of the fearsome King Minos, Ariadne and her sisters Phaedra grow up hearing the terrible bellows of the Minotaur from the labyrinth beneath the palace. The Minotaur, Minos' greatest shame and Ariadne's brother, demands blood every year. When Theseus, prince of Athens, arrives in Crete as a sacrifice to the beast, Ariadne falls in love with him, but helping Theseus defeat the monster means betraying her family. And Ariadne knows that in a world ruled by mercurial gods, drawing their attention can cost you everything. Ariadne has heard too many tales of women being punished for the acts of men. She's determined to set her own fate, but will her decision to help Theseus ensure her happy ending, or will she find herself sacrificed for her lover's ambition? This is the last book I mentioned in my Shelf Destruct TBR, and after I read like the synopsis, I was like, color me intrigued. So I did put all the books for the Shelf Destruct on a spinner wheel, but this is really the one that I really wanted to start with. And just as a test, I spun the wheel and it landed on Ariadne. I wish I could have recorded that because I would have been like, this is just a sign. I should have taken a photo, but I didn't. This is the first book I'm going to start out with. I have a whole month where I plan to read this, so I don't want to rush myself. If I start to get intrigued or something, then yeah, I'll pick it up and dive deeper into it. But that's basically that. Yeah, welcome to the vlog, I guess. Let's just jump right into it. Ariadne. I don't know if I updated you. I don't think I did. I'm really enjoying this book. I don't know if it's because I've always been addicted to like Greek mythology. Or not addicted. I've been intrigued by Greek mythology. I don't know how to explain this book. It's told in kind of like a journal format, and I usually hate journal. I don't want to hear about your day-to-day or the fact that these things happened or what and things in the past. Like, tell me the story. And it's not entirely journal format. There are things that gives the impression that it is a journal, and Ariadne is just writing what happened to her mom, how the Minotaur was born, and all those things. But I am really enjoying the story. I love it. So right now I'm there where Ariadne has been formally she was introduced to the man she's going to marry, and she doesn't want to marry him because he looks weird. He's descendant from Artemis, I think, but Ariadne doesn't like the vibes he's giving. He also has been described as really creepy, so I was like, okay, don't like this. And then she meets, I think it's Theseus that she's going to be meeting. I'm intrigued to see where this is going to play out, if like the love interest is going to increase or anything. Granted, I'm only 10% in. I'm taking this slow. I didn't want to put this book down, and yes, I could have read further and could have enjoyed my time more, but I have a lot of other things that I need to do. Because yesterday I think I read up until chapter 4, or I finished 4, so it's gonna go from 5. Maybe I'll read to 8 or 9, and then we'll see how things progress. I also paged through and I saw that we're also getting her sister's point of view, so that's interesting. Didn't think we were. But there's also, it's divided into parts. Maybe each part is like kind of like a different point of view story. For example, in part 2 we follow Ariadne as she tries to save Theseus, and I cannot pronounce the sister's surname. Her name. How she reacts to it all, how she's trying to move away from Crete or something like that. I'm just theorizing anyway. So, and I'll update you when I have more thoughts, theories, I enjoy it even more. Hello everyone, happy Tuesday. So I was going to stick to my reading plan and read like say 3-4 chapters each of Ariadne every single day, because I mean taking it slow is a month's reading, you know, that kind of jazz. It did not end up being that kind of jazz. Things started to progress further and further into the story, and I was just like, I need to know what's happening. I am curious. And I was a bit upset about the romance that's happening, and I'm putting it in air quotes because there's no romance whatsoever. Oh, please don't do that. There's this point where Ariadne mentions Theseus is like her new lover, and I'm like, okay, listen, first of all, she did mention that she was never interested in men because of how her father treated her mother and things that her father did to other women because they betrayed their father or something like that. You'll understand if you read the book. Anyway, so she's never had any interest in a man. And then comes this other man that she's betrothed to and she's not interested. And now all of a sudden Theseus is a new lover. And I'm like, weird choice. But anyway, okay, anyway. So then out of the blue, after Theseus talks about his whole life story or whatever you want to call it, he just kisses her, like makes out with her. And I'm like, there was no build-up. Nothing even happened between them. She was just listening to him. She was, in fact, infatuated with him for no apparent reason besides the fact that he's good looking, he looks like Adonis, and he's got sea green eyes. Cool. You know, if a man looks nice, I'm gonna ogle. But there's no way if he starts talking to me and telling me his life story and then starts making out with me, I'll be like, yeah, I'm so in love. No, sir, please. Things progressed. It got worse and worse. And I don't want to give spoilers because like the part where I am now is like heavy spoilery. I wasn't expecting it to end in that kind of way, the first part, I mean. And now I can understand why we're getting Adina. I was like, who's Adina? Why we're getting Ariadne's sister involved as well. Her point of view is what I'm trying to say. I have a feeling there's this vibe in me that's thinking we're gonna progress into a Calypso moment. Is reading like a high 4-star, and I don't want to give ratings and be like, oh yeah, I know this is going to be a 4-star. But the way it's going now, I'm keeping this book on my shelves and I'm looking for other books by Jennifer Sain. The problem is they're just so expensive. I don't know what happened overnight with books, but all of a sudden all the physical copies are just so expensive, and I was like, hello, is there any necessary reason why I have to pay an arm and a leg for a book? I'm really transitioning into my Kindle era now. These books you see behind me, they are the books that I'm keeping. They are the books that are going to decorate my shelves. And that is about that. I'm not going to spend any more money on books, except if it's Kindle books. Yeah, okay, that's my tangent. I am going to go make some lunch. I don't know what I'm going to eat, but I am very, very hungry, so... I have still not met a Dane in Ariadne. I think I'm going to have to get the audio for this one. Yay! I got new glasses somewhere along the line. My eyes are in that stage where it's kind of getting used to the glasses, but it's sore when I read a lot and I work on my computer a lot as well, so I kind of see double. I'm just trying not to strain my eyes too much so that's not too tired. But yeah, I'm heading to go get the audiobook because I'm struggling, man. I'm struggling. Hopefully I will get to maybe the 75% mark today. I am intrigued by everything, especially because one of the gods showed up, and I'm not going to pronounce his name because I'm pretty sure I'm going to butcher it, but it's the god of wine, I think. He's making Ariadne now be like a servant for him, and yeah, she's learning the new island where she is. I'm also concerned about her daughter. Concerned about her sister, but I can't wait for her to like reveal the truth of what happened to Ariadne and to see a kingdom crumble. That's all I'm going to say. She looks, even though she's I think 14 or 15, she looks like a very strong character, and I'm rooting more for her than I'm rooting for Ariadne, because right now Ariadne is just a moper. I believe her sister's name's Viandra. Yeah, I like her so far, so I'll continue with that today and then let you know how it goes. Hopefully we can wrap this up until next month. I don't know what I'm gonna read next month. That is up for the wheel to decide, but for now we're carrying on with Ariadne. What am I to make of this book at this point? It's such a mess. Like, it's a royal mess, and I don't know how I feel about it. What is this, 80% maybe? I don't know, but just I have no words. I'm so tired. It's just strange. The the direction it went. I thought it was going to be a story of revenge, but I don't even know how to explain this book. It's now just a story of one girl who is looking for love and the other one who found love. I don't know, maybe one of them is going to meet their sad end, and I have a feeling who I know it is. Hello everyone, so I'm gonna make this as quick as possible because I have the flu and I feel horrible. You know, everything is great. I finished Ariadne and I'm sad to say I'm gonna give it 2 stars. I really loved the beginning part. Part 1 was like crack to me. I enjoyed that part so much. Let me also just clarify that I don't know the story of Ariadne. Like, this is my first introduction to it, and after like looking deeper into Ariadne, I heard that this is basically her story. That's not what I wanted. If you give me a retelling, I want angst. I want all kinds of other things. I want the heroine to actually come out badass, and Ariadne wasn't. This is my personal opinion, obviously, but she just, I don't know, she fell flat for me in so many ways. Her relationship with her sister was boring. Like, I thought her sister was gonna be like this whole, she's gonna ruin Athens from the inside, and then Ariadne is gonna come and she's gonna, you know, from the outside. And I thought it was going to be such a big mess, and it turns out it wasn't. It was basically just these two falling in love, having children, despising the men in their lives eventually, you know, that kind of thing. I can say that I'm a bit underwhelmed by this book. I was on my way to buying all the other books, but physically, but now I'm not so sure I want to dive into Jennifer Saint's other books if it's going to be basically the story of these goddesses or those in Greek mythology. I don't know, it's just a personal opinion of mine. If you say it's a retelling, I expect retellings to happen. I don't expect things to work out just as they did in the original story. So anyway, it was a tragic story, might I add, but I'm going to be selling this one. It's unfortunate because it's a really nice cover. Even the inside pages has, I don't know who this is. I'm thinking Ariadne because she's known for dancing. I'll see you guys probably next month with the next one. I don't know what I'm going to be reading, but I'm hoping Spin the Wheel chooses something amazing. I did... My phone is locked. Okay, there we go. I did put all the books that I plan to read on a spinner wheel. I'm concerned. There's a lot of books on this TBR that I want to read, but there's also a lot of books that I was like, I don't really. So I almost forgot to screen record. So let's just quickly do that. Okay, and we are going to spin. I am not going to look because I'm too scared. I don't want to. Did it choose? No. Ah, oh, I knew. Okay. Ready Player 2 is the second book following Ready Player 1. I think it's a few years after the events of Ready Player 1. I really enjoyed Ready Player 1, but I thought there was no reason for there to be a second book, and now we have one. So why I bought it, I don't know. I thought, oh, everyone's ranting and raving about the first one, so the second one must obviously be amazing. I'm going to see if I can tackle this very quickly. Hopefully it's not a bore, otherwise it's going to be a DNF, I guess. Okay, I need to speak to you. Where is that book? No. Just no. 100% no. I really didn't enjoy this book. I got to 130 pages or something, and I was ready to bash my head against the wall. I don't know why I bought this book. I really don't. But yeah, it's such a descriptive book, and not just a descriptive book, it's a boring book. Like, we go on another quest when it was already used in Ready Player 1, and we try and figure out where the 7 shards of something is, and I was like, why? They really didn't need to be a second book. And yeah, so I think I'm gonna, I don't think, I know, I'm gonna DNF this. So that's sad. I don't know what the next book is going to be for this vlog, but that's next month's problem. This is not my problem. So yeah, try to do this at the beginning of the month, because hopefully I thought it was going to be, you know, like it was going to be an awesome book to start with, and then I just slowly lost my mind the more I read it. I even tried the audiobook. Will Wheaton was the narrator, and while he did an amazing job, I zoned out every time. So it's enough, and I'm not sorry about that. I wanted to do a spinner wheel, but then realized that my hold on this book came in through Libby, and it's How High We Go in the Dark by Sequoia Nagamatsu. This is a set of short stories from people who are dealing with a virus outbreak. It is very close to home to like the pandemic. I think it's going to be a little bit hard-hitting because it's similar to what happened in 2020 all throughout to 2021. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I don't have high hopes for this one. Okay, good morning everyone. It is officially July. I think this is one of the books that I don't have like an opinion over. It might be a book that I read and I think, okay, I'm never going to think about this again, or it might be a book that, you know, I want on my shelves and I want to think about again. I think the only bad connotation it might have is like linking towards the pandemic, but I don't know. I wasn't as severely affected by the pandemic because I work from home, so it didn't really do anything for me, besides the fact that it made me stir crazy because my parents were also forced to work from home. And I'll let you know. If I have any things that stand out, I'll probably talk about it. But hopefully this one goes better than the last two.
Before discovering the 30,000-year-old remains of a girl, we circled the research outpost, a network of red geodesic domes peeking right below the tree line before landing in a clearing. Maxime helped me out of the chopper, grabbed my bags and a sack of mail from the back.
I had to change my hair because my hair was falling out. Apparently I have too fine of hair to do what I wanted to do. I'm still busy with how high we go in the dark. I'm 33% in it. I'm intrigued, but at the same time I'm like very confused what's going on here. I know there's like a virus thing going around, but the story before the pig son story, if you've read this book, it feels like a fever dream, and I was just like so very confused. So I don't know. I was gonna see if I can get to 50% and then tomorrow the other 50%. Some of these stories are just so wild that I get all I started speaking Afrikaans to you, that I need time to like process everything and just see what happens. And yeah, it's something. These stories are something. I got emotional with the second story when it was about this guy who was in an amusement park, and basically the amusement park is like a euthanasia area, so the people take their children because it seems like this virus only affects the majority of children in the beginning, and so they take their children, and as the children go on their final ride, you know, they inject them with this thing that makes them sleep. But the descriptions of the children coming out of this ride and how they are in like a catharsis state, or not a catharsis state, but like it actually looks like they're sleeping when you know they're not alive anymore. And I was like, that is disturbing to think about. And then there was a story about a pig who started talking, and I got emotional over that one, pew pew, because the pig slowly comes to realize that he is like an important part, well, his organs are important for defending the virus or fighting the virus with these kids, because they use the pig's organs for transplants and stuff. Slowly but surely the pig realizes that he can probably save someone, and this is despite having like a dream to travel the world. I don't know, it's a wacky story, but at the same time I was like, my heart. So yeah, there's 4 stories that I've read so far. A lot of questions. I'm still like 50-50, should I keep it, should I not? I think I won't ever want to reread this book. I can't really say much about it. All that I know is that it's crazy. So you probably know why I'm here. Let's just say this is the reason for these videos, is to find out if the books are for me and if they are not. And unfortunately, this one is not for me. I've tried pushing through. I'm on 50% right now and I just don't care. It's really just short stories about people, how they're dealing with this virus spread and how different people cope with it, how the world changes. And I can appreciate it for that, but I'm bored. I don't care. I think it would be better if we followed one character throughout this all, but the fact that we are following different kinds of characters, I'm just like, okie dokie. So I'm DNFing, unfortunately. It was a good start to the book, but it wasn't something that I would like to, you know, continue. And I have recently learned that I'm not going to push myself if I do not enjoy the book. If it's not for me, it's not for me. So yeah. I'm assuming this is going to be a very short video, but either way, I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down below if you've read these books and if you did enjoy them or not. Just leave me a sun emoji down below, and I'll see you in a video next week. Bye!